What's up, everybody? How are you this evening? You know by now that we are the fabulous 4 minus 1, so we're actually the fabulous 3 tonight. KD is still celebrating on her birthday. She's coming back. I forget where she was, but she'll be back joining us maybe a little later on in the show. But nevertheless, here we are coming to you every Wednesday night on Power 1017. I am Doc Val, your resident sexologist, and I am so excited to be here with you guys tonight. Ladies, y'all are looking so beautiful down there. How's everybody?
Pretty good over here.
All right. Miss T, what's up with you, love?
Oh, man, it's another wonderful day in the A.
We're going to get the weather report.
Yeah. Get ready for the weather report. This time, so far, decent weather. We had a couple of cold spells, but it looks like we're back on track. My allergies were trying to take me out at one point, but we're back. I'm good. So let's hope for the best and that this carries into the next month. Oh my God, it's at the end of April now. Or no, it's the end of May. No, beginning of May.
We want to thank you guys for listening to Brown Sugar. You know, we're going on I think we're soon like the 50th episode, I think. We're getting up there. And you guys, really? Yeah, we are getting up there. And you guys make this possible for us. So thank you so, so much for always listening, for sending us your emails. By the way, by now, you know, send them to brownsugarconfessions@gmail.com. But please go to our YouTube channel to like and subscribe and leave a comment. That's where we can really interact with you and have a lot of fun. We can't do it on the radio station, but we can do it on YouTube and on Instagram. So please make sure you go to all of our social media accounts, drop us a line, give us how we're doing, what you want to see us change, because we are here for you, because we love you. Let's bring up the phenomenal, amazing Treese. What's up, girl?
Just hanging out, getting ready for the wonderful Mother's Day. And
oh man,
that's right.
Up. Yeah, trying to make sure I don't get mom jewelry. Hanging out, planting in my garden. I'm just enjoying the weather being above freezing right now.
Exactly, right? Finally, we're getting there. It's cold here in Delaware. That's where I am. And, that is where KD is as well. But it's cold here, I will tell you. So we're ready for spring.
Didn't you just have snow again?
Yeah. We had 14 inches.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You need to move south. Come south.
Oh, I want to. But, some people love the cold. How
Give
are
me
you
a reason
doing
to go to New York.
I am doing great. I've gotten back from Tahiti. We're all settled in. Gert and I are having a great time. We're about to go to Europe again next month. I'll be teaching again. I know, don't be.
Jealous.
I'm going to try to get on live, but I'll be teaching on another ship coming up in June, actually. And so it is an actual lifestyle cruise. But I'm going to talk about that later on. It's actually a nudist and kind of swingers and people that just want to be sexually open, So I've been invited to come on and teach some workshops and just to hang out. And my husband, he's all about the clothes wear.
The party.
Yeah, he's all about that.
Party? Let's do it.
There you go. Let's do it. We always naked. That's our motto. We should have a t-shirt say that. We old, but we naked. Daggone it, we gonna do the thing. Yeah. So, Trace, I know you got some stuff. We got such a fun show tonight. I cannot wait to get into this. And we're taking this a little differently tonight. We talk a lot about relationships we have been for the last 2 or 3 weeks, right? But we're gonna switch it up. We're actually gonna go into the history of sex and vibrators, and really go back into time and talk about some of these weird nuances that you don't think about, that we didn't even know until we started doing some research around the history of sex and vibrators and all sex things that matter. So I know Treese is going to kick this off. I cannot wait for this show. And hey, did y'all check out Treese's little confession last week when she was talking about, hold on, I got to tell you this. This was hysterical. when she said, we were asking, how do you know if they're a good lover? And Teresa, what's your answer again? It's so priceless. I don't even want to talk about it.
I have several answers. How they kiss.
That's the one. That's the one. The kissing part. It's hysterical. Go to YouTube, check it out. I don't know what you think. I'm married now. I don't have that extra in my life. But I want to know what y'all think. So try it out. Anyway, let's get on with this show talking about the history and the history of vibrators. Treese, love, take it away.
Okay, so we're going to get into this. This is going to just be a short history because I am a Virgo. I have to give the history.
Yes, give us the history.
You got to give us the things that you know that you don't know.
Right? So from bees to bullets. Let's go.
Yes,
let's do it.
We know that vibrators are popular for women and both men. While men don't openly and readily admit that they use them, they can be used. And they are quite phenomenal on men. If you've never used one on your partner, get their permission first. Try it.
Yes. Consent is everything.
Always ask.
Consent, y'all. Consent.
So you might hear some really weird stories, a lot of prevalent stories about how vibrators came into existence is that doctors actually invented them to heal women from what they called, quote unquote, hysteria.
Oh, yes. I heard about that. The hysterical woman. That's called a menopausal woman.
Well, what they said is that the woman's uterus would be so hysterical that it could jump out of her body.
And it can move to other parts of her body.
Yes. And it can move to other parts of her body. Yes. And you have to stimulate it to keep it in place and to keep it submissive.
So the doctors said that their uterus would jump out of place and go someplace else in their body?
So essentially what it is if you know ancient Greek, the word hysteria comes from the Greek word, I think it's like hysterica, something like that, but it's Greek for womb, which is why a lot of times when they say someone is hysterical, they are referring to a woman. So this one ancient Greek doctor physician was like, because the womb is so erratic, it moves through the body, it can move out of the body. So further along the way, like 18th, early 19th century, something like that, is when we had doctors who this would be their reason to massage women to make them irrational.
Wow.
Supposedly doctors were rubbing on the ladies to make them unhysterical.
Yeah. We can all imagine how that went, but I'm not going to say anything.
Ooh, that was before the medical board and all that good stuff and all the creed, right? Okay.
We're assuming that's before the medical board because the medical board was kind of strange. It still is kind of strange.
They still are weird. So some people, there's an encyclopedia of unusual sex practices. Brenda Love claimed that Cleopatra used a gourd filled with bees to stimulate her genitals, which you would assume would maybe be similar to a vibrator. The idea of this has been reprinted, overprinted, and is false.
It's false. Thank God.
I'm glad it's false. Only because who was the unlucky person who had to put them bees in said gourd? 2, how did they keep them bees in said gourd? 3, how hard were these bees knocking around this gourd in order to get somebody stimulated?
Absolutely. That is a weird one. Bees inside of a gourd.
Yeah.
So they would put the bees inside this gourd, put the gourd inside the person. My God, if one of those bees got out.
We're assuming they put it to the person. She might have just been holding it up against her.
They might have just been holding
it. Now that would, okay. And the bees vibrating would cause the gourd to vibrate. The stimulation.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here's the thing. It's not like ancient people did not have fingers. Why do we
or
have
sticks?
Or
veggies.
Why do we have exactly like why do we have to invent such magical things?
That's to show you had money.
But even then, that's not even money.
You gotta be like, I'm so rich. I tell somebody to go put some bees in the gourd so I can jack off. And they did it.
Right? But for me, it's completely false. There are no real writings behind this. This is just another fallacy that people invented to, again, make Cleopatra out into this very wanton, very over-the-top woman. And also, I have to mention this. If we're talking about hysteria, let's talk about some of the symptoms that went along with hysteria, like aggression, to fainting, to nymphomania, and farting.
Wow.
I mean, you know, your hormones go up and down. You can't get bloated and fart. I mean, that is typically
men
normal.
fart more than women, or at least
this is also true.
So that is nasty. Yeah, that is true.
They got them SBD type farts, man.
They got the kind of farts that just make you like really like use a whole can of spray.
You gotta burn matches. You almost want to burn down the house sometime.
Yeah.
And don't be under the covers with it. You can almost throw up in your own mouth. I'm like, what in the heck?
I will
It's like, oh my God. All right, getting back to this. All right. Okay, so bees. Okay, go ahead.
So bees.
What's the next one?
Now we're going to jump about 1,000 years in advance, and we're going to talk about manipulators and circulators. When we're talking about how medicine literally went from the dark ages to actually being able to see what was inside of a human body, because remember, doctors weren't allowed to do autopsies. So this is the first time where you're really allowed to see the organs working and in place. The first medical doctor was a English physician named Joseph Montier Granville. He invented an electrical vibrator, although similar machines called the manipulator that happened to be steam powered. Think of the burns.
Ooh, girl.
It was a manipulator. It was a table massager that was already in use in France and in the United States. The other one was
wait. You said table.
Yeah,
like you had to put it on the table.
Yeah, like it was table made. Like,
and you had to get on the table to
like
use it.
An electric stand mixer. Bam! And it's steam operated.
Ooh, that could be some nasty burns.
Yeah.
Thank God for progress.
Right?
Somebody got hurt. Somebody got hurt trying to use that.
I would 100% believe that. But the historian Helen King found no evidence that doctors were doing this in ancient times. The doctors weren't actively out there stimulating women. Good. When we're talking about this, and let's be completely honest, if we're talking about the 1800s, we also have to talk about like what were they called? The sanatoriums.
Yeah.
The men.
The crazy house.
No, these aren't the crazy houses. These are the crazy house. No, these are the places that you go to get rest and recuperate.
Okay.
Oh, those. Okay.
Yeah, like the man who invented Kellogg's. What is it? Kellogg's.
Oh, Kellogg's cornflakes.
Yeah, cornflakes. He invented a sanitarium, and when you go to these things, you drink mineral water. You have all kinds of like steam treatments. Women were stimulated for hysteria. You had to eat like less meat. They believed that spices made your libido go crazy. Spices,
like chili and cinnamon and stuff that made your blood circulate a little more.
Yeah,
so they kind of got you up.
Yeah, so they said eating a bland diet would keep all of that in check, especially for a woman. How Kellogg's cornflakes was actually invented was a complete accident. They had made this mush and they accidentally left it out and it dried. And there was an inspector coming, and the inspector saw, like, because they had to have a certain level of cleanliness, and the inspector saw this and they were like, oh no, we served this to the people because it had dried and crunched over. They added at first it was like a mixture of milk and water. And then that's how they served it to the people. And then it became America's breakfast, a good, healthy American breakfast.
Wow. So the Kellogg's cornflakes. I have them in my closet downstairs in my pantry now. I love cornflakes.
Post Toasties is the other person that ran a sanatorium in Kellogg, Michigan, who copied the recipe, stole the recipe, and created his own brand version of Kellogg's
Cornflakes.
Yeah, and they have a whole museum, interactive museum. Yeah,
right. And from a sanitarium, so that So our cornflakes have a lot of sex history in our cornflakes, huh?
No, your cornflakes is the lack of sex history. They don't want you to have sex.
They don't want you to have sex. Bland. So I wonder, are cornflakes like contribute to low desire? I don't know. I'm just thinking and making up.
Well, when you think about it, they wanted you to have a bland diet, right?
So should I tell women not to eat cornflakes then because it will lower their libido?
Eat it with something else.
Eat Count Chocula.
Count Chocula's want to get your
add some strawberries.
Eat some Count Chocula. Don't eat the other stuff because it will be horrible.
Oh my God! All right. That's interesting. All right, women out there, don't eat Kellogg's cornflakes.
Not if you don't want to have a libido.
Lower libido.
So getting back to vibrators, they weren't using them on women. They were actually using them on men to help with sexual dysfunction. They didn't see women as let's be completely honest, they did not see women as an issue or even an issue to solve in sex. They were merely there to be had sex with, not to be helped.
Which is kind of a little bit how it is now. I mean, we progressed a lot, but still a woman's sexual concerns is very far down the list compared to a man's sexual concerns.
The fact that you can get erectile dysfunction pills readily available almost
but you can't get birth control.
But you cannot get birth control.
Right, yes.
It just shows you still how we're still not there. We're still working on it.
All right, sorry, Roger. Okay, go ahead.
Then there was a crank model called Pulsacon.
Pulsacon 5000.
Yes, and it was crank related, and it was marketed specifically to stop pain and to cure chronic sufferers and to help blood circulation, which is
so isn't that just the what is that? Isn't that a Sybian?
Yeah,
isn't that what that is now?
Yeah,
that's a Sybian.
It does.
You just ride it.
Yeah, just a different way, shape, or form. But
wait, first of all, what's a Symbian? What is a Symbian?
Okay, all right. So let's go back. So Tree. So is this thing? So it was like a dildo-looking thing. They put it inside the woman, and the person would crank it in the back.
It wasn't even used on women at this point. It was used on men. So it was. But this Pulsatron, they're saying it where you could put it on your body, like you could put it here and stimulate your heart. But we know that's not where people was putting it. They were not putting it on their head, on their pulse. But it was used to help stimulate or get your blood flowing and to help chronic sufferers of pain and all of that stuff. But they were using it on men. They weren't actively really using it on women until much later.
That is crazy. And so for women, they would put it inside and crank it. Then when they did use it on women,
I don't even think they weren't putting it inside.
Inside, okay.
It on surface level, if you understand my meaning.
Oh, okay. On the skin. Okay, just on top. Okay, all right.
I'm more concerned. They're talking about this is supposed to help joints, but you got to crank it, and I'm like, is it you crank it like a ham radio, or you like kind of like go, and then like you release it, and then it just works? Or like, do you put it up against you and then you have to crank it while it's up against you?
I think we need to go to a sex museum and see all these ancient things that they built. I think we have to go that. And so, Ms. T, you asked a question about what's a Sybian. So a Sybian is this apparatus that's most people have it on the floor because it has a lot of power. And there are attachments that go on top of it. Mostly from what I know, a woman would get on top of it. And someone would hold the remote control, or she might hold it herself, and she would ride it, and the person turns it up and up and up. Well, to ride a Sybian, it is like, how can I describe it? Magic. You know, you ever heard the Hitachi Wand?
Yeah, actually, I'm glad you brought that up because we're going to be talking about that later.
All right, so it's the Hitachi Wand times 10.
Oh, it is.
It will leave road burns on your thighs. I mean, that thing is powerful.
Oh my.
Yes. I actually know this couple. They took their Symbiont and they had it in their carry-on. And at the airport.
Oh no, was it acting up at the airport? I hear that happens a lot with sex toys.
Because they were like, what is this? This was we were going to Jamaica and we were all traveling together.
Oh no.
I don't know why they had other carry-on. It was so funny.
Oh no.
And so here, and we're putting down that we're going to Hito, right? Because you have to put down where you're going when you're on the immigration form. Yeah. So we're saying, we're going to Hito. And so here's this bag. They have it on the carry-on. Why they're carry-on, I don't know. And so they were like, what is this? And so he pulls it out. And then he's putting like, well, what is all of this? And I'm like, I know this cannot be the first time these people doing immigration have seen a Symbiont and going down Jamaica to Hito, because I know people carry them all the time. I bet. And they had all their attachments with it, and they put them out, and they were putting it on it, and they were like, "What is it?" And he turned it on, and it was the most embarrassing situation I have ever been in. I remember just cringing. I'm like, I'm not with them. I don't know them. I don't know who they are. Oh, it was hysterical. And the people behind us that were looking, they were like, who are these wretched hoes? You know?
Oh no. Well, you know what? So I feel like at some point, especially if like you're in an area that has like a lot of adult related things, that the TSA has got to know what's up. They're just doing it to embarrass you at this point.
That's what I'm thinking. They just did it to embarrass us.
Yeah.
Because they had to have known what this thing was.
They like, I know this isn't your first time you've seen a sex toy in somebody's carry-on. Why are you carrying it in there? I don't know. Why you're carrying it in there with the batteries in it? I don't know. But
you have to plug it in. I mean, with the Symbiont, you had to plug it in. But yeah, I've seen some of them that have been like huge, and they have so many attachments to put on them. But yeah, girl,
I don't even know if I carry something that like that not delicate, but like detailed. It's not delicate. With me.
It's detailed. It's definitely detailed. You cannot pretend it's not something that it is. I mean, you pull it out, you see these big, phallic looking symbols that go on top of it. It turns it around, it's spinning and twirling and making noise. And you're like, yeah, girl, it's the way to go. Though, if you want to have a whole nother sex toy, and they're expensive. They're hundreds of dollars.
Look, we got to pause this. We got to pause this right now. We got to go pay some bills. Yeah. We got to pay bills. But we coming back, and I want to know more.
All right, we're going to talk about it.
We got to pay bills. Go get your drinks, relax, and join us back after this commercial break.
We are back, y'all. Welcome back here to Brown Sugar Confessions here on Power 1017. Thanks for coming back, hanging out with us. And we are going into round 2 of the history of sex, the history of your favorite buzz toy, the vibrator. If you ever want to get in touch with us, you can always reach out to us at brownsugarconfessions@gmail.com. Like and subscribe to us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And if you want to talk to the Dr. Val herself, you can reach out to her at Valerie@swancenter.com. That's Valerie at SWA2NsCenter.com. Thanks for coming back. And Tracy, we are back for round 2.
We want to know more. This is so funny to me.
Okay, so we're going to get into it real quick because I want to pass it off to Miss
Okay.
T. So in the 1900s, doctors were using vibrators on men, but they were not making money. Does that not sound like today's medical field, where if you're not,
It sounds about
money,
right.
they don't want to do it? They want to figure out how they can make more money. So they started advertising to men and to women, not just in doctors' offices, but also in magazines like the Christian publications, New York Times. They had vibrators that claimed to heal everything from wrinkles to malaria. Devices were sold in
First of all,
department stores.
malaria.
Yeah, they were sold in department stores, mailing catalogs, even Good Housekeeping magazine tested and tried a few and had reviews on them. Were people using them actively to self-stimulate? Yes, they were. But we also have to remember during that time, those things were considered illegal and obscene, and you could get arrested for those things.
Mm.
But they were advertising them as things like what a woman needs. Do you get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. I get it.
So
Get them needs in, ladies.
Yeah, they
Yes,
were
I get
doing
it.
it very sneakily. But again, it was always to bottom dollar make that money. Not that it didn't help women, not that it did not help, even to this day, millions and millions and millions of women, but it was never intended for women. It was always intended for men. In doing that, they had to be very careful with what they were doing because you could get arrested for it. You could go to jail and you could be labeled a pervert.
That's
and
interesting.
You could be put in a real mental facility back in the day, which we know that they weren't any good.
Exactly. Well, that's interesting. The things that we didn't know that you will learn on Brown Sugar Confessions on Power every Wednesday night at 11 o'clock. I just cannot get over this one.
I think it's your time to take over.
All right, so we have talked about the history of some of our favorite buzz sex toys. So let's talk about how they look like over time. And strap in because this is going to get very interesting and very strange at the same time. So a lot of times with that we know of, sex has happened. It's nothing new. It's been here since we first got here in the world, and it'll be here when we all leave. But how sex toys have looked over time have changed. So we know that typically when you see a lot of ancient, I don't know if we call it paraphernalia.
Mm-hmm.
How do you say it? Is it paraphernalia?
Paraphernalia, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very phallic shaped. You know, it looks like an eggplant.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like an eggplant, hard like an eggplant. It's an eggplant. We're going to use
an eggplant, right?
You've had various types of artificial eggplants. You've had them made out of bronze. You've had them made out of bread. You've had them made out of clay. You've had them made out of jade. For example, there was in an ancient Chinese king's not temple, but tomb, they found a jade and bronze butt plug for a king in a tomb in Shanghai. So they believe that the butt plug was actually used to contain the chi of the body that was found in there, but it was found up the butt. So
wait.
To consider.
I just want to go back. Okay, so this king, this emperor or king of China, when they unmasked that tomb, there was a butt plug in his butt.
There was a butt plug.
Wow.
There was a butt plug, and it is phallic shaped. Shaped.
Now, you know what? There's a lot of new things on the market. You know, when people pass, you could be diamonds. You could be a tree now if you're dead. You could be a diamond if you're dead. You can get cremated. I don't know about dying with a butt plug in my butt.
Hey, man, at this point, somebody's going to be like, take my ashes and turn them into a butt plug.
You know
somebody's already thought about it.
I know you can take your ashes and make a necklace out of them. I saw that. But now, you know what? Make it in a butt plug or add it. And why did I just think that I saw something about taking a dildo and then you could put your partner's ashes on the dildo. That way when you insert it, that's a thing I think I read somewhere.
Yeah,
that's a king.
It's
That's a
very
kink.
much a thing. Yeah.
It's really a thing.
Yeah, you can even design how you want it to look and all of that stuff. Yeah.
At this point, you got people making casts of their partner's intimate parts. So when they pass, they still are able to do because they have that person's shape, you know,
Honey,
in order to keep going.
Come up here. I'll be back in a few.
But then that's an example of things that have happened like almost 2,000 years ago. Another example is that back in, you know, ancient Rome, ancient Greece, because everybody was just doing whatever they wanted. There were no labels. There was no, I am straight, I am gay, I am bi. People were just doing people. And one of the ways they did people is they would make their toys out of bread.
How bread? That must have been some stale behind bread. That bread had to be 30 days old bread. I don't even know.
Listen, at this point, it was moist by the time it was done. So, you know, people got it in the way they got it in.
That sounds so nasty. So they would take bread
and do.
And they would, that had to be some rock hard bread.
Crust like that.
Crusty.
Crust. Woo. Hopefully there was some kind of like liniment or ointment to keep from scratches happening because, you know, that is very
lemon, not lemon. That was stain.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And then we talked about the steam powered manipulator. So back into the industrial age where everything was mechanized and everything was powered with steam before they went full blown into electricity. So we talked about steam powered manipulator and also it being a hand crank vibrator. So yeah, let's get a little more into those hand crank vibrators.
Yes,
why
do I feel like that's like Frankenstein? Like,
I can see that.
You're alive.
It's alive. So to give you an example of a hand crank vibrator, there was Makura's Pulsacon hand vibrator. We talked about that one earlier. One of the more advanced hand crank vibrators created in the 1800s, sold throughout the early 1900s. I think we'll be able to put the link to this article online because they actually give you pictures of what everything looks like. And this one looks like it was used to like stamp letters. But this vibrator was actually capable of delivering 5,000 vibrations per minute.
5,000 vibrations per minute?
Just imagine it sounding like a Uzi. I'm scared.
That might beat the symbiont. Good God, 5,000 per minute?
But it was marketed as a DIY cure for illnesses and to combat female hysteria. Yeah. So we're getting into the marketing of this isn't just for men. This is for women. Your woman's acting up. Get her a vibrator. Oh, she's acting up for real? Send her to the doctor. Let him vibrate her.
Oh my! That was a thing where they were sending their women to the doctor to get off. That is some crazy stuff to me.
So the other thing that these, I don't even want to call them like toys because they don't look like toys. We're going to call them devices. So these devices were also marketed as blood circulators. So we talked about that before. You put it on a certain part of your body, it circulates the blood, it gets the blood flowing. So we have our blood circulators, and these are still looking like like those stamps those big rubber stamps, bam, bam, bam. We got those. So now let's talk about the 1920s. And this is where things kind of start getting very weird.
The 1920s. Okay.
1920s. So you have the Polar Club electric vibrator that had this, it was all green. It had like these attachments on them. So what they were doing, where they were showing where you could put it to stimulate your hair, you could stimulate anywhere to prevent cramps. You know, you could put them on, you know, your melons, you could put it on your lotus, like you could put this essentially everywhere. And then in the 30s, it doesn't get better because now all the attachments are starting to vary. Like, you know, with those hair massager type, how you say,
Those little
hair
army, yeah.
Yeah, so now we got those where, like, I'm looking at the box for one of them. This is the Andes Vibrator. So it was marketed for both men and women to help circulate blood in the face, the scalp, and the body. So the way they show it in the picture, the woman has a flat attachment. She's got it up against her face. The man has a more rigid attachment. He's got it in his hair, trying to, like, you know, stimulate his hair. But considering how many of the texturized add-ons were included, it's believed that it wasn't just for the cheeks and the hair.
Of course not. Where'd it go?
Right. Exactly. And then you had in the 30s when they started adding heat to the devices. So one of the examples is the rolling pin heat massager, and it literally looks like a curling iron.
Ooh,
It looks like a curling iron, and I am terrified of this thing.
Oh, are we going to, you know what I want to do though, Miss T? I think we're going to try to get some of the pictures up and add it.
Yes, we're going to have to add this article. We're going to have to add this article because, yeah, these look pretty strange. And it's like, how would you allow any of this to come to your nether regions? I don't understand. But one of the things also, we're getting into like the 50s and the 60s. And, you know, for women, weight was a very big issue. We had to have the certain hourglass shape. We had to be a certain weight. So now these vibrators are not only for blood circulation, they're for spot reducing. So manufacturers are claiming that they can help you lose weight. So a good, yeah. So an example,
calories.
Yeah, you burning calories one way or another.
I'm not eating because I'm busy.
Right. And then this is also where that wand vibrator starts coming. That wand vibrator shape starts coming, where it looks like the big microphone. This is where that shape starts coming in the late 1940s. So that microphone vibrator type device that we typically see on and off, like especially now, started around the 1940s. But there was another one that showed up. And guys, ladies, gentlemen, those who have yet to decide, y'all need to look at this article. Okay, so we're talking about the 1940s. So we talked about this is how we got the big microphone type of body for some vibrators, those big wand type vibrators. So
like
there was
the Hitachi Wands.
Yes,
right?
like the Hitachi Wands.
Okay.
So there was another one that came out, and this one also came out in the 40s, and it was called the Oster Stimulax for barbers.
Oster Stimulax for barbers. Okay.
Yeah, the Oster Stimulax for barbers. So what did that look like? It is, think of it like it is something that kind of fits on your hand like a glove, but it's got a giant motor attached to it. It looks like, looking from the picture, it looks like it's somewhere between 5 and 10 pounds. Easy.
So it's a glove.
Kind of. It's like a glove ring, if that makes sense.
No.
You're going to have to look at the, like, I wish I could share the screen so you guys could see it because it looks pretty wild.
Go to YouTube, check it out, peeps.
Yeah, go to YouTube and check it out. So what it is they attach this to the barbers attach this to their hands, and then they just pretty much massage your scalp. So your hand is essentially a giant vibrator.
Oh, that sounds like that might feel good.
Yeah. So they're like, you know, supposed to be massaging people's scalps with it, but clearly, you know, you slide in, and you get a different kind of massage with that.
But that doesn't sound all that bad.
Yeah, it's multi-purpose.
Don't they have those on the market now, though?
I don't know, but apparently it was a vibrator that delivered forceful vibrations through the fingers into the scalps or other body parts.
Bet it did. And that one I like. Okay, what else?
Yeah. All right, moving on to the 70s, and now we get into our beloved Hitachi Magic Wand.
Okay.
So this one came out of Japan, and it was known as the Cadillac of vibrators.
Right.
It was marketed as a massager, but its long handle and powerful vibrating head didn't take long for people like American sex educator Betty Dawson to publicly
my mentor, by the way.
Betty Dawson was your mentor?
Yes, she was. Yes, she was.
Nice.
She passed. Yeah, so go ahead. Okay. So yes.
So also, apparently, Dawson even used the Hitachi Magic Wand in a private pleasuring session to help teach women how to stimulate their lotuses.
Yes, she did. Yes, that was a part of her research during college. She would actually hold masturbation sessions with ladies, and they would use these Hitachi Wands in like a big daisy chain of circle, like we used to call it, and girls would, have orgasms with this Hitachi Wand in college. And I'm, yay!
Wait,
may
first
God
of all,
rest your soul. Yes.
Whoa, back up.
All
What
right.
is a daisy chain?
It's like a circle, the circle. It's like a circle, and you lay down. We call them daisy chains. I don't know what the
circle
thing is, but it's a circle. Yes, that's what I would call it.
Circle of what?
Circle of bodies. You're laying down on the ground, and a circle of bodies. Like maybe your head to head or your feet to feet, whatever the circle is, and everyone's laying down, and you're probably naked, and people are enjoying themselves. So it's not really like an orgy where you're on slipping and sliding on top of each other. You're like in a nice big circle. So we call them daisy chains. I could be wrong about that.
No, that's what
it is, right, Trace? Okay.
Modern men don't call it that anymore. They call it a circle jerk.
I heard that. Our beloved Cece, she'll be on here next week, by the way, guys.
Hey,
she talked
coming back.
about a circle jerk. I think her husband or her were talking about that. I was like, what is it? So what is circle jerk? What is it, Trees?
It's just dudes in a circle jerking.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty much what it's called.
But if you've never done a daisy chain, I've done one. It's amazing.
Oh, really? So was I right? I've never done one. I just assume that's what they...
Okay, so I don't see it as like I'm reaching around trying to touch someone. No, I'm in a position where I'm connected to the person behind me and I'm connected to the person in front of me. And it's just the natural flow of energy. And as one person goes, then another person will go, and you can feel that energy make its way around the circle. It is a beautiful experience.
That sounds absolutely lovely.
Makes you trust, but you fall in love with the feeling of trusting the people in the circle because you are all at your most vulnerable state and you are experiencing these little deaths. And it's very relaxing to know that there is another human there also experiencing it. It just heightens it. And it's really beautiful. It's not as gross as some people want to portray it to be. It is not. It is actually quite healing.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Teresa. I didn't see the things. I'm not surprised that Teresa has done. Okay. So go back to your Hitachi wine. We're sorry, Miss T.
No, I'm not sorry about it because, we are all here to learn. This is why we're going over some points of sexual history. And if you like our little sexual history, and if you ever want us to cover some other topics, send us an email at brownsugarconfessions.com. Leave us a comment on our Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram, because we are here for the people. The people want to talk, even if they don't want to talk. So
yes, absolutely. And by the way, it's brownsugarconfessions@gmail.com. Don't forget that gmail.com is with all your lovely emails.
So we're moving on from the 70s up to like the 80s up to today. And in 1983, the year I was born, of course, it's the year I was born.
Of course.
There was a Japanese sex toy company called Vibrators that invented the rabbit. And if you know what the rabbit is, just know that the rabbit turned 39 this year.
Did the rabbit turn 39?
The rabbit turned 39. So, and it pretty much boldly went where no other device before it had went before.
Can we clap for the rabbit just one more time?
And what made the rabbit different from all the other variations of vibrators and sex toys? This one is the only one to provide both penetration and clitoral stimulation. The only problem here, there was a small problem.
Oh, what was it?
Japanese manufacturers were not allowed to make outright sex toys. So they had to shape their sex toy into an animal, and they used the rabbit.
Oh, with the ears. Mm-hmm. How many? I know y'all listening out there, Radio Land, and looking on YouTube Land. Send us a message that y'all still have your rabbit or you want to get one. The rabbit was the thing. And then they came
I
out
never
with
had a rabbit, but I've heard of people who had rabbits and pretty much are like, I will die by this thing.
Yeah, the rabbit was the thing. It had those little ears. They had the beads inside.
Mm-hmm.
It would do all kinds. Teresa's like pounding her heart. It would get it. You didn't have a bad day with the rabbit. And then they came out with the dolphin. I wonder whether the same manufacturer. They just started adding. They started adding new animals, like your favorite animals, guys.
Butterfly.
Teresa. They had the butterfly.
They had a butterfly.
I didn't know about the butterfly.
Butterfly was my jam. Butterfly in the sky.
I knew you were twice as high.
Oh my God. I had no idea that they had a butterfly. But okay, all right. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No,
okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're good. At this point, we're pretty much done with the up-to-date history of our sex toys and the shape of sex toys for this article. But we know as we have moved on, especially into like the late 20-teens, and now we're in the early 2020s, we have had a new contender on the playing field: suction technology. And if you don't know what we mean by suction technology, if I say the word rose, you know what's up.
It is amazing. The suction, I don't like to use the word sex toys. I wish I could think of a better word. We need to come up with a better word than sex toys. Adult toys doesn't even sound right.
I mean, can we just say personal stimulation devices?
Yes. Your own personal stimulation device. That sounds so risque and like sexy. Yes, I have my own personal stimulation device. But when they came up with the suction technology,
Oof.
Oh, Lord Jesus. Look, everyone's like, all right, honestly, can we just give a big cheer for all that sucking technology? I mean, honest to God, it's the best thing ever. Yes. We love it. You know what? There are so many new things that are on the market, but that sucking technology for men, they have it for men as well, right? We don't often talk about that, but they have something for men that stimulates oral pleasuring. And then they have it for women where you can lay it against you and it just sucks certain parts of your body. And if when I went to a store and I was, doing some product reviews, which we're going to do actually. We're actually going to do some product reviews. And a couple of shows coming up, and I put my pinky on it and I was like, oh my goodness. You could I was like, oh my God, that feels amazing. That's the first time, it was like years ago that I touched like this type of technology. So if you're listening out there, send us your emails. Let us know like what you have and what you're using and like what's your favorite one. What is your favorite one?
And that's also, if you use some of these older technologies, if you've been a person who owned a Hitachi Wand, if you've been one of these people who might have had one of them vibrating stimulators, I don't know, the table set, if you had one of them, hit us up. We want to know your experience because there's a lot of iterations of our personal stimulation toys.
No, but you know what, Missy, you said one of the older devices. They still make Hitachi Wands. I mean, people are still buying them.
It's the Cadillac of vibrators.
There's nothing. It's only 10 seconds and you're done. 10 seconds and it's a wrap on a Hitachi Wand.
I am curious. I've never had an experience with that. I want to.
You want to try it? I tell you, it's
something to experience at least once.
You won't just go back one time. You'll just keep going back for the Hitachi over and over. But there's always this thing in the in the sexology field will you be desensitized after a while? And with the Hitachi, because no one can compare. No man can compare to the Hitachi Wand. No gender out there can compare to the Hitachi Wand. I'm just going to put it out there. Dang. But so I do tell people so that you don't get very desensitized to your partner. is to put something between you and the device, because these things are getting stronger and faster, and to have a layer between you does not hurt. It helps actually to not make you so sensitive. So I always recommend people to have a little barrier between you and whatever personal stimulation device you actually have in your little closet. So that's Doc Val's tip of the day. Have something between you two. So are there more toys out there that we need to know about, Miss T?
I think that's it for right now, because it is about time for us to go. So if you like this segment of Brown Sugar Confessions, please reach out to us so that we can find more interesting facts in sexual history to bring to you here at Brown Sugar Confessions. But yeah, Doc Val, it's time for us to slide on out.
Well, you know what we always say. You know, we love you guys so much, and we thank you always for listening to Brown Sugar Confessions, sending us your emails. We love you. We love doing this for you every week. Power 101.7 every Wednesday at 11 o'clock. Make sure you go to YouTube, like and subscribe, go to Instagram. Please make sure that you engage with us. We will answer you. No problem at all. We are here for you, and we appreciate you being here for us. So as we say out there, stay safe and play safe. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Brown Sugar Confessions on Power 101.7. Go to our Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram page at Brown Sugar Confessions to like, share, and follow. Stay safe and play safe. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.